Hello again, welcome, wherever you are and however you found us. Welcome to Sword Talk. Tonight we have a special episode. Normally we do antiques only on Sword Talk, and we do the new swords on my website. Tonight we're not only doing a new sword, we're actually doing a sword that I don't even have here because it's been sold a few years ago and it's in a private art collection thousands of miles away, so I can't even borrow it to show you. I do have photos of it though. And it's a very special sword because it's based on a Zen teaching story. First, let's get some YouTube business out of the way. If you're new, please subscribe. Please leave comments. It really helps me to improve the show, and it also helps me to stay on the air because YouTube looks for if people are subscribing and if people are leaving comments. Website is American-Samurai.com. American dash. Don't forget the dash. The dash is important. For those people who are new, we have formed a intimate little family here where we discuss art, history against the background of samurai. It requires no previous samurai sword knowledge. We're exploring this together. The show is almost always about antiques. Clean up some old business also. You've asked me about when are we going to do the most beautiful sword in the world, which I promised is coming. Two-parter. It's a blade, new blade, forged by the greatest living sword master. His family's been doing it for 850 years, almost 9 centuries. And he's considered the Michelangelo of smiths, and this is his finest sword. It's outfitted in incredible koshirae, solid gold fittings, museum quality fittings. It's in every way a beautiful blade. It's the most beautiful blade in the world. I've promised that it's coming and it's going to be a two-parter. But Andre says we don't do it until we get the numbers up. And of course, I just work here, so I make no decisions on my own. So what I'm going to ask you to do is pick a favorite episode or two, send it to a friend, get them to press that subscribe button. It's free to them. Helps me out. And we get the numbers up, and maybe I'm hoping that in July we'll get that two-part episode done. Okay. The Monk and the Dragon. All right. The Monk and the Dragon's based on a Zen teaching story. I like Zen teaching stories. Basically, when you hear one of the stories, it always ends with the question, what has all this to do with me? And that's basically it. It's a story that concerns you. And so this one is called The Monk and the Dragon. So I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to discuss how it pertains to you. There is a story that is told of a samurai who sets off on a spiritual journey after he is released from his servitude. It is unclear whether his lord had died or he was given permission to follow his desire. The samurai had been told of a great monk who lived near a mountain at the edge of a dense forest, and who, from time to time, will take on a student if his heart was pure and his intent sincere. On his journey, he comes to the bank of a small river. In the river, he sees a dragon. The dragon speaks and calls him by name and asks, "Where do you wish to go?" The samurai overcomes his initial surprise, answers, and then they have this conversation. The dragon speaks, "None cross these waters unless they slay me first." The samurai replies, "I have no quarrel with you, and I have renounced killing. Nevertheless, you do not cross while I live." The samurai responds, "Then I shall go back to the beginning of the road and find a way around you." "If you go that way," says the dragon, "you will return to the town where you stayed last night, and they will again offer you the choice you initially refused. That choice is now behind you, and I am ahead of you, and you, samurai, are in the middle. Now, the part of the story you do not know, but obviously the dragon did, was that the samurai had passed through a town and had been recognized as a great and famous warrior. What was once a modest village had grown rather quickly into a town of some size. This had brought with it crime and violence. The townspeople were in dire need of him and his skills. In return for his protection, they offered a pot of gold, a position of honor, and the fulfillment of all earthly desires for as long as he lived. So the samurai had to choose, and these were his thoughts. Ahead lay the monk and the teachings he sincerely sought. But it would be a life of austerity and a somewhat solitary existence, and there would be no promise of ever reaching his goal. Behind was a reality of an easier life: power, comfort, respect, family, children, and untold riches. To go back, he would have to break his promise never to kill again. To go forward, he would have to slay the dragon. Before deciding, the samurai had one more question for the dragon. Well, this is where the tale traditionally ends. We have discussed before that in the East, dragons have no evil intent. They represent different things. They can represent virtues and aspects of our character. They can represent spiritual qualities, and they are available for, since there's a question here that he can ask, they are available for insight, sometimes of a spiritual nature. So the dragon represents an obstacle to the samurai. Now, let's take it as if we were the samurai. Is there something in your life that you'd like to do that you've been kept from doing? You've come to a river and there's a dragon. What's your dragon? Is it fear? Is it a clinging to a world that you know and is safe, and you don't want to take on something that's more risky, more dangerous? What is the dragon that you must slay to cross the river to keep on your path? And if you could, and there was a dragon there who could give you some insight, what question would you ask? That's the basis of the story. So there's no right or wrong answer. It has to do with how you see it and how you feel about the journey that you've made and the obstacles that you're facing, and how you feel it's best to overcome it. There's one other aspect of this story that's interesting. At the beginning, we said that the tale purposely does not tell us if the samurai asked permission from his daimyo, his lord, to be released from service so he could take this journey, or, as often happens, the lord dies and now the samurai has the choice of has to make a choice of a different life. There's a reason why that's not in the tale, because it makes a difference. What's the difference? That's what the Zen master would ask you. What's the first thing to see is to examine is the nature of intent of all our desires. Anyway, that's the story, and that's the theme that we picked for this sword. As I said, we searched the world for fittings, and we got fittings that fit that theme. First of all, we chose the color of the green of the forest for the ito on the handle. So it's a dark green. That represents the forest. The fittings themselves are dragons and foo dogs. Now, on the tsuba, the sword guard, is an engraving of a monk or a hermit, holding a pot of gold. There's a river, and there's a dragon in the river. On the edge of the tsuba, which is beautifully done in gold, there are a stitch-like design. These are called sutures, but we get the word sutures, like a medical suture, from the word sutra. Sutra means stitch. And sutras are the verses or the writings of spiritual books. So the tsuba has a lot of spiritual meaning. And I was really fortunate to find that in a private collection. Between the opening of the saya and the kurogata, where the cord goes through, is a very interesting piece. We call this the Kenzen Kado. If you go to my website, another handy section there is a glossary of samurai terms. You will never see on any samurai sword a fitting in this space between the opening of the saya and the kurogata. This spot on the saya is the first spot that a samurai touches before he begins his kata or his practice. It coincides with this section on the hand, which is a spiritual center, an acupressure center. For us, when we touch the saya, it's the first contact that we make. So Kenzen Kato means the gate between Zen, the spiritual part of our practice, and Iaido, or swordsmanship, the art of the sword. So in this fitting that's on the sword, it's the spiritual foo dog, or shishi, that is suppressing the dragon. So in the samurai choice, at least in this sword, the spiritual wins out over the obstacles in the material. That's the name of this sword. How you end your story is your business, but that's what we chose. What we chose for this sword. The fushi koshirae, which is the pieces on either end of the handle, are beautifully done gold dragons. That piece is signed, and it completes the fittings. The koshirae is very unique. It's a split saya. It's what we did here is we took the manta rayskin that is under the ito of the handle, and we extended it out midway into the saya. Now, split sayas are extremely difficult to achieve. I got the inspiration for this from a sword that's in this book, which, by the way, if you can find it on eBay, is worth getting. It's called The Art of the Samurai. It's out of print. Art of the Samurai. It's the book of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So I had the idea that I was going to split saya, to talk about split choices. The black of the saya was to signify the night, the darkness, the mystery of our lives and our choices, and then the rest, the samigawa, which is the underbelly of a manta ray, signifies again the material world. Simple, just as simple as you can get, is the skin of a fish, right? No riches there. And then, of course, we have the mon, the crest of the cherry blossom, which is sacred to the samurai, sacred symbol, because the cherry blossom blooms quickly, dies quickly, fits into the Zen Buddhism of the samurai. So every piece on the sword has significance to the theme. And when I first approached my team in Japan to get this done, I was told that there's probably no way that we could do the split saya without getting some kind of border put over where the two pieces meet. And as I was resigned to that fact, but when I finally, after, and it took almost 2 years to do just the saya, because as we've discussed before, the urushi needs a curing process that takes 7 months, and there's a lot of work that had to be done in this. Anyway, they were able to make it literally almost seamless. Literally seamless. It's just unbelievable. I wish I did have the piece here for you to see live, but that's why it's sold, because it's one of the most beautiful swords you'll ever see. The koshirae is. And the smith on this one was, it's on my website, is from the Gassan School, very famous. But it's the koshirae that I think marks this out, and the beauty of the story. My main job in life is the 8 Samurai series, to find out about that. And those are new blades. Those are new blades by the 8 greatest masters. And then we fashion them out with antique fittings. 8 blades, custom forged for 8 clients, set out by antique fittings from museums and collectors. It takes about 2 to 3 years to make one of those. And also on the website, we have a daily inspiration, a Zen inspiration. We have Zen teaching stories. We have a whole background on the 8 Samurai, on a Wakizashi new series that we're doing. We've got gallery photos. We have links to other sites. We got everything on the site except food with cooking recipes. And if I mention that to Andre, he'll hit me over the head. Anyway, you all know, the regular viewers know about Andre is my wonderful, wonderful editor in Denmark, on the other side of the world, who does a great job editing the music and editing these rambling shows that I do, and he keeps me on the air. All right, well, that's it for today. There's more photos on the website under Zen Teaching Stories. If you go to the 8 Samurai, number 3, well, check all of them out, right? They're all beautiful. But number 3 is The Monk and the Dragon. It'll have more photos. And we also have number 5 due out August. So I don't have any pictures of that yet. I'm waiting to see what the saya, that saya has taken over 2 years to do. It's a very extensive saya. I got my fingers crossed to how that's going to come out. I hope it's going to come out beautiful. It's got a great blade, great smith. Check that out. Check the past episodes out. Send episodes to your friends. And just keep watching. I sure do appreciate it. And until next time, again, thank you for your time.